Hello there, beautiful people. It is James, the Guy in the Booth Reviews, and it is a very special video today because it is the Guy in the Booth Reviews Ghostbusters Afterlife. Spoiler-free version. Now, spoiler-free because there are so many people who still haven't seen the film yet, and there's areas of the world that won't have seen the film yet. But most importantly, I need you to like, share, subscribe to this channel. I will be doing more videos in the future about other things other than Ghostbusters, probably, maybe, who knows. But I won't be doing any news because the big news is the film's out. It's doing so well already. So yeah, let's just crack on. But one thing I will quickly say is I am sporting the new Reebok Ghostbusters hoodie. It's lovely. It's great. It's got these designs on it. If you can hear what I say, and yeah, it's got designs on it that does this, and so I can give myself. It doesn't really, because to get that, I have to do that. But never mind. So you're not here to see me post stupidly in a hood. Shall we move on and talk about the film? Shall we? All right then. Let's do that. So yes, Ghostbusters Afterlife came out in the UK this past Thursday, and in America on the 19th, the following day. But there was plenty of preview screenings. It was released elsewhere in the world. Other areas of the world, it is not out yet, so that is why I'm keeping it spoiler-free. But I wanted to talk to you about it because that's what I do. This is kind of what this has been building to. I will move on to other franchises, maybe. Maybe, who knows? If it's going there, I will probably write a longer review, and there is a website coming for all of this, so this will all be housed somewhere. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, let's talk about it. My word, I'm just gonna say it from the get-go. It is a wonderful film. Okay, for Ghostbusters fans, it is a must-see. If you love the first films, if you like the first films, if you watch the first film more than a handful of times, this is perfect. Uh, the people were sort of saying that what they want from a perfect Ghostbusters movie. We've already had a perfect Ghostbusters movie, and that was released in 1984. We wouldn't be here without it, but this was as close to perfect as you could get for a love letter film. Now, let's make no bones about it. This is a love letter film. This is a love letter to what got Jason Reitman into filmmaking. It's a love letter into what has spawned millions of fans worldwide. It is, I mean, as at this time of writing, it's domestically done $60 million in America on its opening weekend. That's great numbers. That's fantastic. And well, maybe 50 million, but 60 million worldwide because it hasn't had a one single launch day. It's not like a Marvel film where it's all out on the same day. Certain markets aren't getting it until next year. Some are getting it in December. You know, it's crazy to think that we're in this position where some of the world will have seen this film and others won't. So it opens beautifully. It opens. It didn't. It opened in a way I was not expecting, and um, and it set the movie up wonderfully. I was very sad uh, from the word go for a comedy. I was sad after the intro, and that opening scene just sets the tone and the pace that we were going to build to brilliantly. Um, what I will say about the cast is that they're near perfect, the casting for what they were trying to achieve. Um, Going in no particular order, but ending with Mckenna Grace, Paul Rudd, who had just been voted the sexiest man alive. Um, he's fabulous in it. He does the best incredulous face, the kind of okay, yeah. I don't know how he does it, but he does it, and he does it really, really well. As Gruberson, he is great. He keeps the pace ticking over wonderfully. Carrie Coon, I find her so appealing to watch. She is magnificent. Um, as the mum, as the jilted mum, she is great. She says one brilliant line when she's switching off, and well, she says a lot of brilliant things, but she is great. She is great as the mum. Logan Logan Kim, or podcast. He is for a kid who's not done any films before. He was brilliant. He was very funny. He was a breath of fresh air. He added to it. Finn Wolfhard was brilliant at what he did. I'll get on to why I think he's really, really good in this in just a moment. But yeah, he acted as the older brother. Some of his faces that he pulled were brilliant, were fantastic, and some of his line delivery, as we know from him from other films and Stranger Things, he is very good. His delivery is excellent, and he's just growing better and better and better and better. Uh, then you have McKenna Grace of the main cast. Sorry, I feel bad. I've forgotten her name all of a sudden. Lucky, the girl who plays Lucky, she's very good as well. She serves her role and she plays it to a T. She bounces off in Wolfhard very, very well, um, and is very understanding and helps move the plot along brilliantly, which is why we're here. Um, and McKenna Grace, oh my word, she was 13 when they made this film, 13, and she carries that film so well. There is so much pressure on her to get what she does right, and she is flawless in it. There's one little moment that I sit there and go, eesh, but actually, if 99.99% of her screen time is brilliant, then yeah, she's great. She's cute, she's funny, she's weird. Um, she's over intelligent. She's patronizing. She does. There's one little physical thing that she does, which is it's just so on the money for what they were trying to do with her, and yeah, she is great. Obviously the originals. I've got Reitman here and Egon showing here. I'm so grateful they they managed them the way they did, and they did it the right way. They didn't make it about them passing the torch, which would have been cheesy. That would have been a solid 3-star, feel good film sort of factor. But no, they didn't do that. And that is why I like this film so much. So, on that point, I didn't want it to be a passing of the torch film in the traditional sense. It would have been a distinctly average, very nice film if they had. I had no expectations of it, of what to expect, and what I got was beyond anything that I could have thought of. Um, as I said, there is no such thing as a perfect Ghostbusters film apart from the original Ghostbusters. So if you're going to make a new Ghostbusters film, why not start from zero, and go up from there? And this is what this film does. And then it shoots and it goes through the gears sublimely. I've seen some criticism of people saying that the first hour and a half could have been done in half an hour. No, 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 no. You want to be invested in characters. If you're paying money to watch these guys go up and do what they want to do, or what you want them to do, you're asking some 70-year-olds to be the heroes of your film, and that just turns into Bad Grandpa or any of these sort of older films, older gentleman films that we've seen. I didn't want that. We knew going into it it's going to be a story about the family. It's going to be about the Spengler family, most specifically. I didn't want these guys to be the focus. I wanted their lore to be kept a mystery. And this film does it very, very well. As I say, the opening sequence is great and really sets me up for it. And you get a feeling the town is perfect. Somerville is just the perfect location for it, and the story behind its existence, makes sense, and it just builds and builds. You get nuggets of information, um, and it just goes and goes and goes. And when it cranks up, the it's fabulous. In this film, like I say, it is a love letter. There are a lot of references, a lot of Easter eggs to the 1984 film, and even to the point where there are similarities of shots. There are like repeat shots from 1984, but done in a completely different way. There's some smarts, there's some intelligence to what they're doing, to the decisions they're making. Um, stupidly enough, I watched it on the first night, loved it, and went and saw it again on the Friday. And I tell you what, it is better the second time around. So watch it again. Even if you went with your kids the first time, put them to bed, get a babysitter, and go and watch it again, because you'll pick up so much more. On first viewing, I actually thought Finn Wolfhard wasn't great, but then watching it again, his performance is so understated in certain areas of what he's there to do, and he's brilliant at what he does. Um, the mother, she can come across a little bit mardy at times, but then you watch it a second time and you listen to what she has to say, and you just realise she's well justified in her position. There's a few unanswered questions in it, which I'm not sure I need to know because of because of what this film is and was. Um, there's the couple of minor points. Couple of minor points. There are parts of the plots that are missing. Just things that would help me appreciate what they're doing more. And it's little things like the stuff that we've already seen in clips, but we don't get any grounding on it. We don't get any background on it, which is fine because actually you're not thinking about it when you leave. It's just in hindsight, certain things happen in the film. Like I just went, well, hang on, how did they? What? Hang on, and it didn't leave me stuck for too long because they were happening at points where there was so much else going on. It is a family friendly frenzy. So if you love the Ghostbusters films originally, then and you're going to watch this film for the Ghostbusters. If you're taking your kids to see this for the first time and they've watched Ghostbusters once or twice before, they'll love it because it builds in the action and it's funny. It's funny in places where it needs to be funny, and it gives you story. And the story isn't too complex. It doesn't need to be. It's just a wonderful telling of it. It is heartbreaking at times as well. Um, when you think about the situation they're in and why we're in this situation, it's about the Spengler family as it should be, and it builds. And the ending is a lot of people have cried at the ending, and Bill Murray was quoted in an interview saying, "Oh, people were crying at the ending, which is hugely successful for a comedy." But you just do. It is the best tribute to this man. I can't tell my left from right. Apparently, it's a brilliant tribute to to this man and the legacy he left. Because think about all the films he's done. How many of them were a franchise? None, really. He's a one and done. He was a one and done sort of writer and director. Groundhog Day, everything else that he did. All his films just escaped my head. But this is a tribute to his character as well as him, and the way they built to it is phenomenal. So I can see why it got 4 stars, not 5 stars, because it's not the perfect film. But for what we wanted it to be, it's near on perfect. And ignore what the critics are saying. Some of them are looking at it from the 2016 viewpoint. I've done a video on why 2016 isn't a bad film, but 2016 isn't canon for this. Had 2016 been successful, this would not have happened. Simple as, or we would have had to have waited longer, and we would have missed out on the performances of Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, Kim Logan, Logan Kim, and Paul Rudd may not have done it, but I mean, he probably would have done it. He probably would have been 60 and still looking like he's 35. But his physicality is great. He looks like such a dork. He's put on a few pounds to make sure he doesn't have the Ant-Man weight. It is great. It is a wonderful, wonderful well, there's wonderful scenes all throughout, and it keeps you going. Watch it again. If you've watched it already, watch it again. If you don't want to watch it again, or you haven't seen it yet, go and see it. It's gonna be playing for a couple more weeks. Go and see it, watch it, enjoy it, love it, and embrace it. Go in with an open mind. Don't expect it to be going to the equivalent of the Sedgwick and catching a ghost, going to the courtroom scene from Ghostbusters 2. There's all these things. But a very important thing to add, is don't be disappointed at the lack of acknowledgement of Ghostbusters 2. That is one thing I will say. It is Ghostbusters 2 is still very much an important part of what makes this. Um, and the story doesn't allude to anything, but it just helps build this bigger picture. Uh, and yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I've recorded this on the 21st of November, which is the birthday of Harold Ramis. Um, so the film came out at just the right time as a tribute to someone who never got his due, in my opinion, for being the quality writer, director, and actor that he was. He he is the brains of the Ghostbusters, and this film set up future films. Now, what that means for future films, I don't know. Jason Reitman has basically said, I've left this open for other directors, but not outwardly denied that he is going to direct a sequel if there is a sequel. If this has opened up the franchise for short stories, for animation, for other films to be written by Ghostbusters fans, then I'm all for it. I may even start writing some form of treatment. Who knows? But seriously, it is. I've talked for 15 minutes already about it. I could probably talk for an hour, and no one's going to watch that. I might do a live stream of it. That would probably be easier. But I seriously, seriously loved this film. Um, it was never going to be the first two, but this was a completely different film to the first two. But it was still a Ghostbusters movie. That is the most important thing. I enjoyed it. It was a Ghostbusters movie, but it wasn't the same as the first two. And yeah, go and see it. The ending will make you cry. If you're a massive fan, seeing Ecto 1 on the road again might make your heart flutter a bit. It did for me. The noise of the proton pack, everything. It is a joy. It is one of the best things I've seen recently, and I've seen some great films recently. And I walked out with a smile on my face, and I walked out a little bit numb the first time because it was I couldn't compute it. The second time I watched it, I walked out with a big smile. That's all I can say. So, Egon, but never forgotten, for Harold. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you again very soon. Ta-ra!